All right, good morning YouTube. It's Nick with NK Landscaping again as usual. Today we got a pretty basic job we're going to be doing. We do a lot of work for basically a general contractor, and we're subbed out on this job to install some silt fence. They need us to get moving as fast as possible because they can't start working until we get this silt fence installed. So I have a leftover roll of silt fence from when I was doing my property. That's not going to be enough. We need about 200 feet. I think this is a 50-foot roll, so we're going to go buy two 100-foot rolls. This stuff is pretty cheap. It's about 50 bucks a roll, and we're going to go install it for them. So it shouldn't take very much time. We'll show you how to get it done. We've got the excavator with a couple buckets and a couple hand tools. That's really all you're going to need, and we'll show you how to do it right and how to do it properly, and we'll get in and out so they can get started on there. Basically, I think they're building a garage, so let's get to it. Here we are on site. We just got unloaded in the street. That's a lot easier than in their driveway. But basically, Kerr brought down most of the other materials already. But we're going to be installing silt fence along the left side of this property from the edge of the driveway here back to that second gate. And then we got to do like a horseshoe in the woods there. That's where they're going to be basically putting all of the dirt from the excavation for the garage they're going to be building. So they need silt fence, and we're going to put it in for them. So we're going to get over here. I'm going to switch over to the trenching bucket, and we'll make our way to the back. Basically, you have to dig a 6 to 8 inch deep trench. The silt fence has a line marked on the bottom, and you basically need to curl the bottom over to catch any dirt. 6 to 8 inches is kind of that magic number we're shooting for. So I'm going to get the grading bucket dropped here. We'll get switched over to the edging bucket. Not the edging, the trenching bucket. And we can start digging. So the goal is to kind of keep it as tight to these bushes as possible. No need to dig into the lawn more than necessary. So we have a local excavation contractor that we work with a lot, and we texted them asking them for some tips and tricks, and they basically helped us out, so I'm very gracious for that. They kind of told us where to go to get the best silt fence, and basically what we're doing, like I said, we're trenching about 6 to 8 inches deep. And then once we get the trench, we will install the silt fence in the trench. And then you basically put the stakes on the downhill side. And we're going to backfill the front side of the silt fence. And you take there's like a little 6 to 8 inch lip. It's marked on the silt fence. You fold that forward so it kind of creates a scoop. And then you pile the dirt on top of that. And that basically allows the silt fence to catch any silt and not blow the bottom of it out. So what we were recommended is to buy the heavier duty stakes for the silt fence. There's some kind of crummy pine stakes that you can get, and then a heavier duty oak stake. So we were told, get the oak stakes. The pine stakes, you can barely get the things in the ground without the stakes breaking. They install theirs with a trencher on a mini skid steer. They said what's nice about that is it doesn't dig any wider than you need to, and it busts up the soil so you don't have any chunks. It makes for a really easy backfill. We're just doing it with the excavator because we don't have a trencher, and with the steel wrist it's really not too bad. Just working under these trees is a little bit of a pain. You know, a lot of sites will get like our 811 dig safe marked out, and that's good for, you know, public utilities, but there's a lot of times where the client has something installed that, you know, it might be on a map if you're lucky, but most of the time you're guessing, and that's why every single meeting we go to, we're very inquisitive about, hey, is there anything buried back here? Where's your well? Where's your septic? You know, you got to be educated. And you know, most of the time the clients have no idea where anything is. They don't have a map, so you have to dig blinds. And that's why you'll notice in a lot of my videos, even when I'm digging for a patio, I take more scratch passes than anything. I don't really take big gouging scoops. Now, a lot of that is because we don't dig very deep for our patios or any of the stuff we're installing, but you also just want to make sure that you're not just going to go tear some unknown line out of the ground, because then it's just more work that you have to do later to replace it or repair it. And the smooth bucket is really nice for that, because you're a lot less likely to catch an edge, catch a line, you know, you can kind of skim over it. And I also work with a very shallow angle of attack, so I'm less likely to get under something. And just makes for a cleaner trench bottom too. So the garage is going to be going in the hillside right here on my left. They're going to be putting in, you know, it'll be underground in the back, kind of like a walkout style in the front. And they're going to need a spot for all the excavated dirt. So that's going to be behind us in the woods. We're basically going to create like a horseshoe silt fence trap to catch any of the silt that comes off the excavated pile. So this section was a little trickier just because, you know, it's not grass. We're working with just like natural coverage, but I got my 6 inches. We looped it around a horseshoe shape, so they're going to be putting all their dirt in here. This is the silt fence we chose. It's the heavy duty stuff. It's got the mesh on the back, so it's strong. So we're going to get these stood up stakes on the downhill side, and you can see this line. This is your 6-inch line that needs to get folded kind of like this, so that it creates a scoop, and that the dirt can't get past that shape. So let's install this now. Quick project update. Things are not going as planned. We've got a bunch of busted stakes. We bought the heavier duty oak stakes and they just blow apart. So that's not gonna work. And then on a number of these, we weren't able to get the stakes fully in the ground to hit that 6-inch fold over mark. So what's happening now, we're waiting for my wife to come. She's gonna bring us a staple gun and some new stakes. Luckily, I have a bunch of extra lumber at the house that she can bring, and with the skill saw, we can cut a few extra stakes, because we're learning here. Like this one. This just wasn't, even when we unrolled it, the staple was pulled out. So that needs to be stapled back to that to keep it tight. And I'm just gonna go ahead and rail a bunch of staples everywhere just to make sure that those are good. We might need to adjust the fabric on the posts. Either way, we got a little bit of a waiting game until she comes with some new stakes, staples, and things like that, and then we can kind of piece this back together and backfill it. So fun times. My wife came to the rescue. We got some extra stakes so I can cut a little 45 on the end to make them pointy, and then we got a staple gun, and I'm just going around, I'm pulling everything tight. You can see how much better it looks over here now that everything's been pulled tight. Kurt is going around just putting a little scoops of dirt to hold that lip, but that looks so much better now. This one snapped right in half, so we got to put a new stake in and then just staple everything tight. All right, so 100% word of wisdom. you better bring a staple gun with you, and you better have a skill saw and some extra stakes, because you're probably going to break some, even with the heavy duty stuff. This stuff at the blue line, that is the lighter duty stuff. Those stakes actually went in a little better because they're smaller, but either way, we still had to staple them. Check that out. Nice and tight, the way it's meant to be installed. I got to go through now and backfill the front edge and kind of grade this out, work our way out of here, and that should be it. What was supposed to be an easy install is finally wrapping up to be an easy install, minus the slight mishap from crummy quality materials and our mild lack of preparation. Alright, so I just backfilled the wood section. That was a little trickier just because the backfill material in there wasn't very good. Kurt's just kind of going, taking some pictures for the contractor. They need to submit that for the permit. That's basically what they're waiting on, is the permit for this. Because they needed to get their silt fence installed so that the concrete guys can come. I guess they're the ones digging the foundation for the garage. You know, it's funny, I like to think that I am some sort of excavation company, but in the grand scheme of things, this little 30 size machine is not a true digging machine. It's great for stuff like this, great for our walkway and patios and stuff, but when it comes to real digging, it's not the true machine for that. It's just not big enough. You don't have the reach, you don't have the depth, you don't have the power. And then when you put a steel wrist on the end of it, you really lose some of that breakout force. So if you're thinking about starting a full-blown excavation company with a 30 size machine, maybe think again. I'd say a 5-ton machine is probably the smallest you want to go for that. But if you're like us, where you do light excavation projects and patios and silt fence installs now, this is a great little machine for it. The steel wrist complements that very well. So again, we don't need to leave this pretty because, well, they're going to be coming in here with a big excavator and screwing everything up, so we're not here to make it look pretty. Although I'll tell you what, restapling that silt fence made it look a lot better. As you can figure, there's no cedar straw involved with this project. It's install silt fence, backfill it, and get out of here. Kurt's basically got the truck loaded up, ready to go. I just gotta backfill my way out of here. I don't know why I brought the grading bucket. I always say I'd rather be over-prepared than under. I don't think there's too much else to show. That was just over 200 feet of silt fence installation. I know that's not a great how-to video by any means, but we're learning too, so we're gonna go ahead and get loaded up here, head back to the yard. We got some things to do there, so watching out for power lines above me, but yeah, hope you enjoyed, and let me know down in the comments, was that helpful? Do you like these kind of videos where it's not exactly how-to, but a little bit of following us along, learning something? But either way, new videos every week, guys. And while you're at it, check out Kurt at NK Garage. He's got another video a week or even more. Tools, tool reviews, buying and selling, playing with stuff. Lots of tools, so check them out. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good rest of the day.